Hello, first graders. Welcome to Reading Today. Today you are going to be finishing up your last lesson of Module 2. This week we've been taking our reading diagnostic test and working on some skills from Module 2 that we had not finished yet. So today you're going to be working with the book Never Smile at a Monkey. And you're going to remember that in that book, it talked about lots of things that you should never do with some of these dangerous animals. And we're going to look at the word touch because a lot of words that were used in this book mean very similar to touch. And so our goal for part 1 is I can determine shades of meaning for the word touch. And we've done some lessons before with shades of meaning. We know that some words can mean close to another word, and some words are farther away from the meaning of that main word. We know that they can mean close to what our word is, but there are lots of different words to use instead of just one word. And so the author in Never Smile at a Monkey uses a lot of different words with different shades of meaning for touch. So we're going to be exploring that today. You will need your Wit and Wisdom workbook. You're going to use handouts 32B and 32C. If you do not have your workbook, you can use your journal and write down the words instead. That will work just fine. You will also need a pen and pencil. And then we're going to move on to part 2. After we finish doing our shades of meaning, you're going to be writing a note or a card to encourage a healthcare worker. So you will need a blank paper, crayons and markers, scissors, whatever you want to use to write a note or a card. And I also forgot, I'm going to add this while we're doing our video now. If you're using your workbook today, you're going to need some scissors because you're going to have some word cards that you're going to cut out and place onto the handout. So you're going to need scissors for that. If you're using your journal, then you just need a pen or a pencil. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started with our shades of meaning. Part 1, I can determine shades of meaning for the word touch. All right, so you see here on this slide, I'm going to move my picture out of the way a little bit. You see the word touch. This is handout 32C. So you will see 32B comes first in your workbook. So you will see some word cards. And then you see another handout is 32C. And it's this word touch at the top with some shaded boxes. So we're going to try to sort these 6 words. And you will see on your handout that there are some blank words underneath these words. If you can think of some other words that mean close to touch and you want to include those as well, you can. But we're mainly going to work with these 6 words that we found in the book Never Smile at a Monkey. So here we see the word pet. Well, the word pet, we know what that word means. We know that if we have a pet, that we often want to pet it. So this is the verb pet, and it means to either rub or gently pat or touch an animal. You could pet a human if they had really soft hair, but most of the time you pet a animal. Okay, then we see the word collect. We're trying to figure out, does this word mean close to the word touch or farther away? So the word collect, I do have to touch things if I'm going to collect them. If I collect some seashells, it means I'm going to pick up a bunch of seashells and put them together in a group. I might collect cards. Some of you might have Pokemon cards and you collect them. You do have to touch them in order to pick them up and put them together in a group. So collect. The next word is jostle. In the book Never Smile at a Monkey, it says to never jostle a jellyfish. It's dangerous. It might sting you. Remember, jostle means that I'm going to run into something or push it. So let's say that you are in Walmart and there are a lot of people, and hopefully not right now because we're trying to keep our distance, but maybe in normal times, not during the pandemic, if there was a big line of people, you might accidentally jostle the person in front of you because you push them or you run into them. And we know that you do have to touch them to do that, but it's a little bit different than just touching someone. If you jostle something, it means you run into them and you push them. And it might be an accident, but could also be on purpose. Jostle. Here's the word clutch. Clutch. If you clutch something, it means you hold on to it. So I know at nighttime, when it is really cold outside, I clutch my blanket really close to me. I hold it tightly. Now, it could be, I do have to touch it in order to clutch something, but we want to think, is it close to the meaning of the word touch or is it farther away? Our next word is cuddle. Cuddle. So if you cuddle something, I think you know what this means. You're going to hold on to it and cuddle. You want to be really close to it and you want to be really warm. And a lot of times you might cuddle a teddy bear. You might cuddle in the bed with your mom or your dad, and you're just holding them very close. Cuddle. And then the last one is caress. Caress. Now, caress means something similar to pet. If you caress something, it means you rub it or touch it very affectionately. Affectionately means that you love it or you really like it. So you're not going to touch it hard. You're going to touch it soft, really gentle. So you might caress your dog because you love your dog. It's very similar to the word pet. Okay, so we all know what the word touch means. If I touch something, I use one of my five senses and I touch it with my hand. I could touch something with my feet or my body. Now I have 6 words. I have pet, collect, jostle. Remember that means to run into something or to push something. Clutch. Remember that means to hold on to it very tightly. Cuddle. Oh, I'm going to hold on and squeeze and cuddle and be warm and cozy. And then caress. Remember that's to pet something or to rub something that you love or that you really like. So now I'm going to cut my word cards and I'm going to put them in order how I think they should go. Now I want you to talk about this with your learning partner because there's really no wrong answer. But I want to think about, why am I putting a word close to the word touch? Remember, if I put it close to the word touch, it's going to mean something very close to just touching something. But if I'm putting the word farther away, it means that I'm not just touching it. Maybe I'm touching it in a different way. So think about those words that are close to the word touch and farther away from the word touch. You're going to cut each of your words out and glue them down on your handout in the shades of meaning. Close to touch and farther away from touch. Do all 6 words. Remember those extra that you have left over. If you want to come up with some other words for touch and put them in the shades of meaning chart, you can. After you get them all glued down, all 6 of them, and any extras if you want to, then you're going to take a picture on your Chromebook and insert it into this slide. If you do not have your workbook, remember that's okay. You are going to use a journal and you're just going to write the word touch at the top, and then you're still going to sort these 6 words, but you're just going to write them underneath in order, close to the word touch and farther away from the word touch. Put these words in order from close to touch and farther away. That will help you meet your goal of determining the shades of meaning for the word touch. All of these words mean something similar to touch, but some are close and some are far away.